Good morning, St. Peter's. The war has been won, but the battle continues. This is Revelation chapters 12 through to 14. We've seen the battle strategies of false accusation, of spotting the false gods. But today we get to Revelation 14. If you'd like to read Revelation 14, at least 1 to 5. Might pause now and read that. In Revelation 14, we see the third strategy, and the third strategy is pretty simple. It's being set aside. The third strategy for the battle is to be set aside for service to Him and to others. As we live in the world, we can get caught up with our own issues and problems and what's going on in our life, especially at this moment with COVID and with lockdown. We can be really focused inward on what we're doing and what we want to do. But look at verse 4. These are the ones who have not defiled themselves with women, since they remain virgins. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes, and they're redeemed from humanity as the first fruits for God and the Lamb. No lie was found in their mouths. They are blameless. Verse 3, they sang a new song before the throne, before the living creatures and the elders. No one could learn the song except 144,000 who had been redeemed from the earth. This is weird stuff, and we might think, well, that doesn't describe me at all. How does that work? But what we've got to understand is all of this language here is talking about military language from a war. Do you remember we've been talking about a war against evil? You see, now we have 144,000 that are before the throne. What happens in a war is you take a census to see how many you have for the battle. This is what's happening with the 144,000, and their name is written on their foreheads. And the war, they hear a sound and they've got a song. Like good military people, they sing a new song before the throne. But it's a new song. And then what else is about military? Well, they've been taken apart for service, in service to the Lord. And that's why it says they haven't defiled themselves with women. We're talking thousands of years ago, men would often be put aside and they would not be, I suppose, fraternizing with women and kind of putting their energy into that, but rather their energy would be directed into the war. And so they would be put aside, especially Jewish men would be put aside and they would be told not to have sex with women for a certain age or for a certain time. And since they remained virgins. And apparently there was a thought that virgins were even more powerful. These are the ones who follow the Lamb wherever he goes. They're ready to go to their death even if need be. And they're redeemed, that is, taken from humanity, as the first fruits for God. They're blameless, no lie was found in their mouths. This is describing God's people set aside for service to him. And notice it says they are the first fruits. What are the first fruits of the harvest? First fruits of the harvest are given up for sacrifice. This whole section is basically saying there's a war or a battle, and God's people are to be the sacrifice. It's pretty heavy stuff. But what it's saying is, if you get your eyes off yourself and serve God and serve others, it's surprising what that can do in the battle. Because, as I said at the start, we can be occupied and preoccupied with our own issues and what's going on in our own lives, but there's an amazing power to actually getting up and loving someone and doing something for someone else. You forget all about all your problems and you begin to actually love others and be the way of Christ for others. That's our battle strategy 3. If you're struggling at the moment in the battle, our first one is, remember, forget the accusations, but look at the work of Christ and what he's done for you. The second one is spot the false gods. And the third one is start loving others and get up and do something for someone this week, maybe even in the community of church. See you tomorrow.